All right, we are recording, so let us start. Some people may enter into the Zoom. That's totally fine. We'll let them in. So we do apologize if we have to catch a few people up to where we are. Okay, that's what we need. Bear with me for just a moment. All right, can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
All right, good, good, good. All right. So, for those of you who've been on several of our meetings, I'm Reginald Virgil, one of the coordinators for the trip of the International Education Committee, along with Madam President Haley Smith as well. And we also would like to introduce into the fold with being on part of a court as a coordinator on the trip with us, Miss Christy Love as well. There she is. If you would like to, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about, no? Okay.
Sure. Hey, y'all. Welcome. Good evening. I know we're all excited. I know y'all probably got a lot of questions. Hopefully, a lot of that is answered. You feel some ease. And you can release some of the anxiety that we all may be having because it'll be my first time as well. So yeah, I'm excited to work with who we call JoJo. So yeah, we're excited to work with JoJo, Madam President. And so yeah, here we are. And I'm Christy Love, president of the Metro DC chapter, and I'm y'all office assistant. So sometimes when y'all call the office, I am Christy Love. So
Thank you, Miss Love. Thank you, Miss Love. So we'll go ahead and start. Once again, appreciate y'all for being here. I know there's a
did I
lot
say
of
manager, office assistant? I'm sorry. Go ahead, JoJo. My bad.
totally fine. So we have an agenda outline for today.
And so the things that the goal to cover tonight is payments and purchases, the tour package, airline, links to airline, lodging, just talk a little bit about the hotel and transportation. JoJo is going to do an amazing job of answering all y'all questions about the visa process, the requirements, and the survey link.
All right.
And our objectives. So updates on the trip to Ghana, just going over, discuss the process of the visa application. And then, like I just said, we're going to talk about the agenda. So let's get into it. All right, y'all know May 15th is coming up. That's y'all's last payment. Some people have already paid in full. Some people are catching up. Wherever you are, May 15th is the goal for to pay for the trip, not your airfare, but for the trip, May 15th. Terry has sent out the links. I know you probably have not received the link for May 15th, but you received it in all of the other emails. All right. So just know that the payment is due, and we look forward to having all of our payments in full by May 15th. All right, y'all. Any questions about that or comments? Again, it'll go to me or JoJo.
All right. And another thing, in terms of, you have the link here, and if you have any, you're trying to figure out how do you make payments, you'll see that when most of you paid, there was an option of double room occupancy only. There have been some changes amended to that for people who want double and twin and single as well. So if you're looking at the slide, you'll see at the bottom here, it has single room occupancy supplement, right? And there are individuals who have requested that, and that information will be separate from double and twin occupancy. For those who do request a single supplement, which is one bedroom for that individual, it is a additional payment that must be made for that because it is separate from the initial packet of the double and twin occupancy. But we will discuss that and talk more about that as we move forward through our meeting. So we've discussed and we have talked a lot about, in prior meetings, the trip in terms of what the itinerary and schedule looks like. But before we really focus more on a lot of that, one thing that we would like to remind and to, of course, discuss is a passport application. This is our checklist we have for Ghana to make sure that everyone has what they need in order to make the trip, right? So that would, of course, be the passport application, the vaccination records, travel in terms of flight connections and what type of flight you're taking. And then we get into the visa application process, because those other three items that are listed that you see, travel, vaccination records, and also passport application, that information will be necessary to complete your visa process. But also the tour company, lessors, will need that information as well, particularly information on your passport. And we will discuss and talk about it. So when you look at the passport application, for those who haven't done it, please reach out to us, and we can, help provide you with some substantial resources on what you can do or what you need to do to get your passport. And here's the information for it in terms of the time frame for it, and also with vaccination records. We can also provide information on that if it's needed in this group chat now and afterwards, but definitely right now we can provide a link for you pertaining to vaccination records. Give me one brief moment. Okay. Pertaining to the vaccination records, because they will vary from, state to state. And the cost may also vary as well, right? And when we talk about the getting your vaccinations, I know there are some people who may also participate in the extensions, meaning the Senegal Mole and the Northern Safari, right? So it would be wise to check with, uh, with Land Tours, the Land Tour company that we're partnering with, to see or you can also look on the CDC website to see, but if you're participating in an extension, it's good to see which vaccinations are required for them, because they may vary also in Africa. They may vary by whatever country you go to. So for Ghana, it's definitely for sure that you take the yellow fever shot. And then it's also good if you're able to malaria medication as well. Now, however, when it pertains to vaccination records, if you are unable to if you're unable to take the yellow fever shot, then you will have to have a medical excuse from your medical doctor, a professional doctor, as the Ghana embassy requires. If you're unable to take the yellow fever shot or any shot, you must have a medical excuse from your professional doctor stating why you can't take the shot, and then bringing that as a confirmation as to why you do not have the yellow fever shot, because it is required as part of the application process as well. And when we talk about travel, of course, there are plenty of questions regarding, travel with direct flights, with optional flights, and also in terms of exchange currency, which is something we'll touch on as well. I know for me, when I went last year and going this year, um, in terms that we have, definitely promoted, encouraged, shall I say, taking a direct flight, if it is financially feasible for most people, or if it's even the option is available to do a direct flight. Um,
Hey,
uh,
Jojo,
yes,
I just text you. You want to see that real quick while I say something?
go ahead.
Um, so just to kind of go over what he's saying, I mean, really quick, yellow fever for sure. Malaria is highly recommended for the medication. And then on the visa application, it definitely asks for COVID, but it's not required. If you have it and you feel comfortable uploading that, you can. So I just wanted to share that, and I wanted to give him a chance to read his text. So Sister Kathy is on the line and wanted to share some important information about the vaccination. And so we're going to give her the floor, and still questions and comments will come to us, but we want to give her an opportunity to share what she wants to share.
Yes, hi, Hotep, everyone. I just want to share, and some of you who've traveled to Africa may very well be aware, but I had scheduled to get my yellow fever vaccination. I didn't know the process, so I'd call my PCP, in which they said they don't do it. I would have to find a provider. So I just Googled and found a place locally. When I arrived, they told me the shot was $500. I almost fell out. And what happened was I later learned that my insurance does cover, at least mine does, the vaccination, but I had to go to an in-network provider. So because I didn't, and I got it at just a different place, I'm not able to get that reimbursed. So I encourage you to talk to your insurance company and find a provider that is covered under it, so you can save yourself from what I just did. That's all.
That was good. Thank you. I know I'm not gonna put her out there, but somebody told me when she did it, it was like $400.
Yeah.
And that was in Maryland. And so thank you for saying that, because now I'll definitely look it up. So
Yeah.
thanks for
You
sharing
can go
that,
through
Kathy.
your insurance, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that was and of course, by all means, I'm far from a medical doctor, right? And that information is really important. My insurance didn't cover it, and for me in Mississippi, I think it was $180 something for the shot, but typically they don't have these type of vaccinations on, readily available. Like you can just come in and get it. It has to be scheduled, and they'll send it in from wherever it comes from. I think, in Atlanta, the CDC, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, we have another question. Davis?
Yeah, good evening to everyone. I was just going to add that we checked with our primary care doctors first, and they gave us a list of who would be able to provide us with the yellow fever shot, as well as assess us according to the CDC, whether or not we needed other shots. So we got everything all at once where we were referred to. And my husband and I, this is our second time coming to Ghana. So we were just discussing how much it was. And well, that was in 2019 when we went. So the price was considerably less than what I'm hearing you all have had to pay. But we did go through our medical doctor who referred us to Northwestern University. So if there's anybody in the Chicago area who's thinking of going, Northwestern has an international, what do you call it? Medical place, where they will provide all the shots you need for whatever country you're going to. Northwestern University.
Northwestern School of Medicine.
Oh, Northwestern School of Medicine.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Davis.
Yeah.
I just want to say again, so Kathy and Ms. Davis, go to your primary care, look at the CDC, ask your insurance company, do all the things that you need to do to get, if you have not already got the yellow fever shot. So thank you for sharing that, Ms. Davis.
Thank you. Yes. Excuse me. And then also in regard to the visa application, this is something we'll talk about as well. So this is a checklist that is very important to have in regard to the visa application process. And we'll discuss why that it is important. So when we do start the visa application process, what we will come across when we talk about it, and I believe some people have already started on the application as well, which is okay, but rule of thumb is that when you start the application process, you have 2 weeks to complete it until it resets. And if it's not completed within 2 weeks, then it will reset, and the application, you'll have to start over with completing the application. And that is something that we definitely want to stay away from, because it can become, tedious and, in some essence, a pain, if you will. But when we start and we're talking about the application process, it is important that you have your airline ticket for both arrival and departure dates round trip, right? And then again, having that information is needed because it will be asked on the visa application process. And so we want to be sure that when we're talking about the airline information, that is secured. Securing your airline information is definitely on that top priority list. And then, of course, we want to talk, we're discussing the complete trip payment And what we mean by trip, the tour that we're taking to Ghana, as we discussed earlier, there were some links and provided for that. So that way people we want to help everyone stay on track with making their payments. So we scheduled it out in such a way to where installment payments could be made for individuals who couldn't pay it out in full or would prefer to do installment payments. And the last date to make payment for the trip in its totality, excluding the airfare, will be a Wednesday, May the 15th, right? So, that is approaching within just a few weeks. So it's recommended also to complete the travel purchase, and that will be your airfare by May the 30th. Because when we get into the middle of May, we will start hammering out the details of the full um, visa application process in so many ways, right? Because there's information needed that a lot of you don't have, right? And we'll explain and we'll go into more detail about that. And there's also the group airfare information. There are some people who did purchase a individual ticket, which is totally fine, meaning that you're not flying in the group airfare that was also provided as well. So if you are, of course, flying in group airfare, information pertaining to that will be also provided. And I know there are individuals who do have the group airfare asking questions in terms of, deadlines and things of that information. That information you will have provided to you as well. And we're going forward with completing the welcome survey. So what I will do is I will add in a chat a welcome survey. So this, I know y'all are like, we've done so many surveys. I did one before that was, very long. Right, right. And that survey previously done was for rooming information. So that way we can know what individual, which one of you, you have room preferences. You may have roommates, you may not have roommates, but those are things we need to know in order to secure your room in the hotels that we will be staying in. And having that information thus far as ensures that we can get more information that will help complete the visa process. So that's why we're, acquiring and asking of so much information. It's not specifically for NABSW, but it's more so for land tours, right? And so when you have this, we'll send you a welcome survey, right? And so the welcome survey, it will ask information such as your first, middle, last and surname, same thing, date of birth, and other related information that is on your passport. And this information that we collect from you all is shared with land tours. And it is shared with land tours so that way they can provide us welcome letters. And by providing us welcome letters, they are hosting us in their country. So this information is needed not only for land tours, but they share it with the embassy in Ghana as well, so they can keep record and documentation of all of our travelers who are coming with us. So whenever you do get this, whenever you do receive, whenever you start the welcome survey, we ask that you please complete it to the best of your knowledge. We have on the previous surveys, phone numbers have been provided, other information has been provided, and emails have been provided. Some of those emails have bounced back, and some of the phone numbers do not work. We ask that you please provide us with emails that you check and emails that you feel comfortable sharing with us, and also phone numbers. So that way, when we call you, we can discuss with you, hey, this is where you are, where we are in the process. You have any questions or information, we got your survey, we looked at your survey. We want to make sure that this is what you're what you're requiring as part of your purchase, just to double check and make sure before we send all of the information over to the touring company. And once the touring company gets it, then they will take their process and doing what they need to do, ensure that we can come there legally, I guess you could say. So anytime you get these surveys, you're not just filling out random information. We strongly ask that you please complete this to the best of your ability and knowledge with the correct information provided, because it is essential to our arrival in Ghana. All right, so this is
So you want me to I'll take it, Jojo. So he talked about the group rate. Know that this is only 20 people and the 20 people are already accounted for. And so 20 folks are going together for sure. And the group rate, they're leaving out of JFK straight to Accra. They will leave on the 16th and arrive on the 17th, because that is the goal. We want folks to travel unless you're going early or staying later. And that is my son and nephew, if you hear in the background. So yeah, the folks in this group, they have the information. I am going to send out the links, or it will go through the email, the IEC email, folks that need the links to pay for this group rate who are already on the list. Again, let's all travel on the 16th of July, and then we will depart Lincoln. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. And then we will depart on the 25th. Take them upstairs. Take them upstairs. Thank you. All right, so that's the group rate, right? And so we also want to encourage, I know I've talked to Sister Sandera, and she's trying to get the folks in Houston so they can fly together. The DMV folks, we're trying to get together. Alicia just put some information for the DMV folks. So if the group rate, again, it's already taken up of 20 folks, but if y'all can get together with the folks that live in your area, that would be awesome. Most of the flights we know will end up at JFK anyway, so we hope to see some of you all there. So you're not traveling necessarily as a group, but individuals say, hey, let's get this flight, let's do this together, because again, some of us have never been and some have been before, so it'll be a great experience. Lincoln, it'll be a great experience. Hold on. All that to say, talk to the people in your area, right? The group rate link will be sent out soon, Jojo, right? And we want you all to leave out on the 16th from here and come back on the 25th. All right, because the hotels before and after those dates, you will be on your own. And this is also it's also in the PowerPoint, but you will have transportation from the airport to the hotel. And so we'll talk more about that. But again, transportation for that is included. Did I miss anything? So again, let's get our tickets. The goal is May 30th, so we can complete our visa applications. And I believe we will have another meeting in June for folks that really need assistance with that. Some folks, but you'll still need information from us / Land Tours to be able to completely fill out the visa application. And I will say this, y'all see the dates, June 14th. Don't pay attention to that. May 30th, folks that are in this group tour, May 30th for all of us to pay for your flights. I think that is all on that slide, Jojo. Did I miss anything? I know the next slide is about different airlines and things like that. So I know American is one, but these are some of the places. And if y'all, the folks that were on the meetings, like in December and January. These are some of the airlines that we recommend: Air Canada, Delta, Air France, and KLM. So, and again, American. So just if you needed some additional help or information, again, talk to the folks. Y'all see who's on here. You know who you do not, let me not say that. So these are some of the airlines that you all can use to get to Accra. I see some questions in the chat. Do we want to, thank you, Alicia, for sharing that. How can I confirm that my room survey was received? Jojo, do you want to, I can look at that since I think you have the next slide. So yes, for the people that are going on that group travel, that did the 100 back in February, it does include that price. Patricia, what's your last name? I can look it up, Jojo.
Patricia Perkins.
You said Perkins?
Perkins.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And JoJo's, if you're talking to us, JoJo, you're on mute.
Who's
Were you talking to us? Nope.
Sorry, I
Okay.
was speaking the whole time and didn't know it. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I was saying that for any questions we have, we'll get them toward the end. So that way we can get through the information. Because some of the questions may be answered through what we got to share. Um, uh, in terms of were you finished with that previous slide, Ms. Love? Okay. So far as so this slide that you're seeing now, this is just an example of what it looks like, right? And why this information is important to have. The first one is one from Delta, and the one below it, I went to the website for American Airlines, right? And below where it says direct flights, New York JFK and connecting flights below. This came from American Airlines, right? And the top was Delta. So the information that you see far as in the flight number DL 156, and then you have the date and then the time also, right? So this information will be asked on the application, the visa application process, and also on one of the surveys that will be sent to you. And the reason we want to know this information is because there will be some people probably arriving at different times, right? And there will be some people arriving and departing at different times. So to make sure that we are monitoring and keeping track where everyone is very important to us. So that way we can know if you're taking a flight. You see at the bottom here where it says connecting flights 14, and then it has 4:30 to 7:50, 4:30 p.m. to 7:50 p.m. one day, but the total duration of this flight is 23 hours and 20 minutes. And here's the price, what it comes down to, right? So anytime you're taking a direct flight, it is going to be more expensive versus taking a multi connection flight or connecting flights. So having the information in terms of flight number, times, day is really important for us. So if someone is taking a flight that's more than 10 hours, we can know where you are, have an idea of where you whenever you're in your layover period or things like that, just for us to know, so that way we can keep up with our group, everyone who is going, because we're expecting not everyone is going to arrive in Accra at the same time on the same day, right? We start on the 17th. So typically if you're flying in, if you're doing a direct flight, but just if you're doing a direct flight, you want to leave on the 16th and arrive on the 17th. That's how the flight is going to work automatically. Almost no matter what time you leave, you'll leave on the 16th and you'll arrive on the 17th. So for me, you see here a direct flight. This is just an example. This isn't for all of the airlines, but this is just an example. So you can see for the flight and with Delta leaving out of JFK heading to Accra Tuesday on the 16th, you will board and you will fly out at 4:25, and you will nonstop, and you'll get there the next day on the 17th at 7 a.m. When you depart on the 25th, it'll be at 9 a.m. You leave Accra and you'll make it back to JFK 3:55 p.m. Right? So, it's important that, we're trying to, we know this, so that way the flights aren't miscoordinated on your end. We want to make sure everyone has enough information to make a very good decision on choosing their flights. So next, we get to the visa application process, right? And this was something that was mentioned earlier. What I said is that the only valid for 90 days, issue date for 14 to 20 days, application process completed by the middle of May. We want to start by the middle of May within completing the application process. So when you see that it's only valid from 90 days, if you are applying for a standard visa, and we'll talk about this, if you are applying for a standard visa, you will have a 90-day window in which your visa is good. With outside of that 90 days, it expires, then it's no longer any good. So this is only for standard visas, right? So we want to make sure for people who are applying for standard visas that we do not close you in or have you out, we don't have you too far outside of the 90-day window period in which your visa is good. So we want to make sure that when you apply for it and then you get it, when we get to Accra in Ghana, that you're well within your time frame in which your visa does not expire. That is very important. We don't want anyone getting trapped and gone in Africa and having, PTSD or anything like that. So when we talk, also discuss throughout the steps, we want to make sure that, we talked about the visa support letters that will be part of the welcome survey, that once you complete the welcome survey, you will send, we'll collect that information and that data, and we'll send that to land tours. And when they get it, this information, for example, they will have it to make their invitation letters and host letters for us to come, letting Ghana Embassy know that they are hosting us in their country, and also for the naming ceremony for those who want to participate, because they need information from us as well. And the reason that is because for me, when I participated in the naming ceremony, I was I was born on a Monday. So I was born on a Monday, so my name would be Kojo or Kwajo, Kojo, or Jojo. So that information they have for all of our travelers. So when we get there, they have your full name, they have your date of birth, and other information as well. And they can say, okay, we can now configure how their Ghanaian name would be if you choose to participate in the naming ceremony, right? So when we also talk about number 2, the passport information, right? So when that's also needed for the application. Passport information is very important. When you start the application, it will ask some of those questions, such as passport number, expiration date, and things of that nature. And also when you get toward the end of the application, it will ask for you to upload the small photo. I got it somewhere in my bag here. It will ask for you to upload a small photo of that's in your passport, right? And that photo that is asking for you to upload, you can get that photo. You can get that photo from Walgreens, CVS, just small little picture, right? I don't remember the exact dimensions, measurements, but you get it from Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, or whatever's near you that takes those pictures. Number 3, we go to flight information. Once again, we just finished speaking about flight information, why it's important to have it. That will also be asked on the application. When we get to number 4, this is a lot of questions we've had from a few people, GPS, and what is the address, right? So the way this is going to work is that we can provide information once we have secured the payments for everyone who is attending to go on the trip, right? So that way they know for sure that these are the people who are coming. And when they're coming, once again, they will have the welcome survey, they'll have all the information they need, and they provide us with that information. Once we have that information, we can share it with you as well. So it is important that we make sure that we can have everyone to make their payments, right? With us, so that way we can collect the information that we need, because as of now, they're unsure of who is going. If people, if some of you may be a little delinquent on your payments or anything of that nature, or you just joined and you haven't made any payments, we encourage you, highly encourage you, to go ahead and make those payments. And May the 15th is the deadline for the last payment, right? And so until we can get those payments in, information will be withheld from us until we can, and so that way we can provide it to you. So that is an important part of this process. Is what you need is definitely GPS and digital address of the locations of the hotel and the host as well. So definitely we have a question. Give me 1 second. Oops, sorry about that. I'll get with you in just a moment, Miss Galladay. And then we talked about the yellow fever shot, the importance of that, the itinerary, right? Once again, The itinerary is, we will provide you with the itinerary, and this is predicated on getting the information into them for all of the people who will be participating with us on this trip. So once we are for sure that, you know, the payments are sent in, we can have the itinerary, the hotel booking, and the digital address as well. Let's see. Transportation. Transportation is provided. Once we get there, that was a question that was also asked. What about transportation? Between the 17th and the 25th, transportation is provided. We will be escorted in 3 coach buses that has air conditioning as well. So that is something, a question that was asked, and hope that was answered as well. So when we get to our hotels, once again, this is after we've done the visa application process, we've done everything. We made it to Accra in Ghana. We're about to start. We get to the airport. They will pick us up from the airport. For those who come in on that day, pick everyone up from the airport, and they will be escorted to the hotel in Accra, the Lancaster Hotel, right? So that's where we will go. Once we get there, for the 9 days and the 8 nights that we are there, we will have meals that are provided to us for those days, right? And for those of you, once again, we just talked about the payment links, and this is something that is important to note. The twin, double, and single, right? In America, we don't, you know, in our country, we don't use that terminology in terms of what type of bed you want with a hotel room or what type of room you have. The twin simply means you have one room with 2 beds. The double basically means you have one bed that is queen or king size into one for 2 people. So that's one bed for 2 people. And of course, the single, right? That's one bed for one person. And in terms of this, you see the 750 for people, for any individual or any person who requests a single occupancy, that will be a charge of 750 with a single occupancy. As you can see at the next part as well, in terms of accommodation, we will have 3 to 4 star hotels in Cape Coast, Kumasi, and Accra throughout our stay, with rooms, baths. They will have swimming pools, a bar, TV, and things of that nature. So if you want to go swim, you can definitely do that. That's what we did when we went there. When we say that, our hotels but pretty much have pools. So as you see at the bottom, we'll arrive in Accra on the 17th, and we'll depart on the 25th. So between July the 17th and July the 25th, we will be covered as well by Lantours. There is a meal plan provided as well. So the meal plan, we have breakfast daily, 2 lunches, and 6 dinners, right? While we're there for 9 days and 8 nights. So the meal within the confinements of the itinerary that we're following and that we have, those meals will be provided. All right, we'll stop right there. Miss Love, is there anything you would like to say?
I mean, well, you just said it on this page. But can you go back to this slide, Missy Lane? Or was it the one before?
The one before, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to take a picture of that real quick. Thank you. That
Okay.
was.
Yep, no problem.
All right, so we did talk about the visa, the hotels, and the meal plan. There is something I will share with you all after this is over. Ms. Galladay, if you have something you want to say, go ahead and share it.
Get the most random box.
Hey, yeah, I just had a question. When you were talking about the visa, you said the information will be provided once everybody pays. Like, what's the deadline for that? Because, you know, is it for sure the 15th or whatever the date is for people to pay?
Right. The final payment, the deadline for the final payment is the 15th. So we're looking roughly no less than a week after that, a few days actually, we will provide you with that information because it is very important that we get the visas completed as soon as possible, right? For you know why. So
Right.
within shortly after that, because that week of the 15th is on a Wednesday. So we're looking within that week after that, between the 20th
Okay.
and the 22nd, no later than that.
Thank you.
Hi, I had a question.
Yes.
I wanted to know what time is checkout on the 25th? What time do we have to be out the hotel? And then what's the plan? Like if we have, I know I'm coming from DC and the flight doesn't leave until like 11 o'clock at night on the 25th for the straight flight back to DC.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
what do you do on that last day? How long will we be able to stay in the hotel or what will we be able to do that last day?
We will check with you. We'll check on that for you and see. That's a good question to have. What the checkout time is. We'll check with that. We'll check on that for you and see.
Okay, thank you. And then also, I missed what you said in reference to the yellow fever. Is that in the slides in reference to the deadline when we have to have that done to meet any
Can you
standard or anything?
can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Yes,
The
I heard
yellow.
what she said. She
You'll
said
need
yellow.
to have your yellow fever completed to upload it for the visa. Yes.
Oh, okay. Before you get the. Okay, I get you. Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. And
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be within a certain amount of time. I mean, like it doesn't have
It
to be.
does. It does. It has to,
Oh.
you have to have the yellow fever shot 10 days prior to when you travel. So you're gonna be leaving, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be leaving on the 16th of July. So you want to have your shot by the 5th of July.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's if you're leaving on the 16th. If you leave it a couple of days earlier, you need to count out, I say 11 days, because they will check the date. When you get to Ghana, they're gonna ask for your yellow fever shot at the customs gate, and they're going to check the date. And it is a problem if it's 9 days and not 10 days. So I'd say do it 11 days out.
Can it
11.
be 10 or more? Can it be 10 or more?
Oh, it can be more than 10, and it's a once in a lifetime. You could have had it 2 years ago. You're gonna need that yellow card. That yellow card is something you're going to need. If you don't have the yellow fever yellow card, you're gonna have to check to see what it is. And this is my card. This is the yellow card that I have. It has the date, and they physically asked me to show them this card when I got to Ghana.
Okay, so I can have the yellow fever. I can get it done tomorrow if I wanted to, as long
That's
as it's
correct.
done. Okay, all right, thank you.
That's correct. And then someone else said, if, infectious disease clinics specialize in preparation and over preparation. When I went to the infectious disease clinic, I felt like I was buying a car. They were like, you could get malaria, you could get this, you could get that. By the time I left, I was just supposed to go in there to get yellow fever and a malaria shot. By the time I left, I had about $800 worth of shots all together. And I was like, if they would have had $400 worth of shots, I would have bought them. But 800 just sound excessive. I was just like, give me the malaria and give me the yellow fever. Now, with my insurance, because I needed them that day, because of course I was there on day 11, right? Because I needed it that day, they said I had to pay for it. I could, like, if I needed it 2 days later, then the insurance would have covered, because you got to get a pre-authorization to be able to do the shots. So get your shots in advance. And I definitely want to say, your room assignments have been made based on your initial application. So there are 10 people who are traveling who will have their own single individual room. We've secured those. There are couples who are who have double rooms. We've secured those. So the twin beds have already been secured, and everyone has been assigned a roommate. So if you don't know who your roommate, because some people said match me up, some people knew exactly who they wanted to be with. So if you're not sure who your roommate is, please inbox us or email us, and we can let you know who we've assigned you to with the room. We are, I am anticipating riding on the major airline with the majority of the individuals out of JFK on the 16th. You will be checked in. We're gonna be just like from some of y'all know the Love Boat. We're gonna be like Chrissy. We're gonna check you in. We're gonna make sure you're there. We want to know your flight arrangement. We want to know your emergency contact people. We want to account for everyone who's there. We also will have it set up if you can't make it or if you're delayed, there's a way we could communicate. So later we'll talk about WhatsApp. Some of you all may not have used the app, but it's a free app that allows you to communicate with people internationally without a charge. So we want to go through some of the communication etiquette when we get closer to the time. So it is, the majority of you all have paid in full. You've done what you need to do. The way our contract was arranged is we're going to make our final payment on May the 15th. So we have no problems making our final payment to get that payment together. They're going to give us a turnaround to get the letter back. Like JoJo said, when you're going to use your ID, you have to think about it because I'm an old student, right? So you need to have your Walmart passport photos right by you. You need to have that also uploaded on your computer named Walmart passport photos. You want to have that. You also want to, while you're sitting down, you want to have a picture of your passport. That front part of your passport with your picture, we want you to physically send that to us. Because there's some people say, what's your middle name? We got first, middle, and last name. Your passport doesn't say that. Your passport says surname, right? So we want an actual picture of your passport. So then after you go through those major steps, when you put the information in your visa, you're at your computer, you're gonna have your digital address, you've uploaded your picture, you put your exact time in. After you've done all that, you're gonna save that as a PDF and you're gonna upload it and it's gonna go to the embassy. Then you have to print all of that out and you have to take the physical picture of your Walmart passport, put it in there with that application that you printed out and physically signed, and you're gonna have to put your actual passport in the envelope and send it to the Ghana embassy. So for me, someone who had never done that before, I had to ask, I'm supposed to put my passport in there, but yes, you put your physical passport in there, you're going to send it. Ghana is going to do whatever they need to do. They're going to send it back to you because when you pay for your passport, you're also going to pay for a shipper return fee of some sort, right? And that's so they can send your passport back to you. Okay?
No, I'm sorry. Before you move on, madam. So this is mine, right? So this is a picture we're talking about. This small picture that goes on your passport, right? You're going to send just this in. The picture is going to be mailed to them, right? You can send it in. You're going to send that in. Then I scanned and made copies and sent in copies. That's what I did. I made copies and sent the original thing too. So you're going to send this information in as well. They're going to need all that information. And like she's saying, when you are done, you will have to print this off and you'll have to send in other information, right? You're going to have to send in other information, and this is going to be on there as well, right? So this is the front page of that application. That's all I want to say, madam. So in correlation with that, I tried to get the digital copy to show you all, but I didn't have it. So I just had a printed out version.
And then even on the digital copy, you gotta do required things to be able to move further, right? So, as you're preparing for, if you've already purchased your ticket for the airline, we already know you're gonna pay your fare. If you already got your ticket to the airline, you want to go to Walmart, get your Walmart passport photos. You want to keep those by your computer. You want to take a picture of that and upload and save it. You also want to get an actual copy of your passport picture. You want to get a copy of that. You want to take a picture of that. You want to upload and save it, because by a week after the 14th, no later than the 21st, you'll get your welcome letter. You'll have everything that you need, your itinerary, your Walmart photo, your Walgreens passport photo, a picture of your ID. You will also know the hotel address and digital address that you're staying with. Land tours will be your contact, individuals who will be your contact on ground. All of that will be together where you can put it in the system. You'll be able to click and pay for a standard visa, and you will be able to click and pay the shipping. As soon as you do that, then you want to print it out on your computer, and you want to put all those elements together, and you want to ship it out using a label.
Yeah, question for clarification. If we already have a passport, we still need to get new passport photos.
Yeah, yes, even if you already have a passport, they want I think they're 4x4 passport photos of you. Now, if you have some of those from previous, I don't see why you couldn't use those if you still have those 4x4, but I would say it would be good to have it look as much as you look now. So, I looked a whole lot different 10 years ago than I look now, right? So if the closer to now, and I want to say it doesn't cost but like $10 at Walgreens or CVS to take those photos.
Yeah, okay.
Madam President, did I hear you say you had to mail in your actual passport with that
Yes.
information?
Yes, you have to physically mail in your passport to the Ghana embassy, and then they're going to physically put your visa on that passport, and then they're going to physically send it back.
Do you know what the turnaround is?
It's about 10 business days.
Because we do need our passport to travel, right?
Right. It's
You
about
mailing it to DC, so it's the embassy in DC, so it's not.
You get it
It'll come
back.
back.
I mean, they have shortened the time for a reason. It's just about having all of those pieces together, and then it's easier to get turned around. So what we're going to provide you with is that welcome letter that's going to have all the digital information. We're going to give you a checklist that you can either print out, and it's going to say upload your this, is going to say upload your that, is going to be, saved. So when you're sitting down, you can get all of those things done.
Okay, and it's mailed to DC, not Ghana, right?
It's mailed to the Ghana embassy in DC.
Got you. Thank you.
Okay.
But all of that'll be on there.
So, and I do want to show real quick, if you look and can you all see my screen?
It says
Yeah.
step 1 and 2. Yes.
Okay, so whenever you get ready to do the application, you see at the top, you have the reference number. So you will all get a reference number whenever you do your application. Don't take mine. This belongs to me. You gotta get your own reference number. So everyone will have their own individualized reference number. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So there we go. All right. So when you get to the step 1, this is what for most of you, I believe some people have already have tried, but step 1 is going to ask purpose of travel. It'll be tourism, visa, 2, passport type. You'll select ordinary, and then, no-brainer questions such as 3, country of residence, nationality, American, United States, nationality of birth, United States. Then you get to 6, visa type. So this is an option you have of selecting single or multi-entry, all right? When you select single, that is just for 1 year. Multi-entry is up to, I think, somewhere between 3 and 5 years, right? And then the processing office is in Washington, DC, which we just stated. Service type, once again, you can do standard or expedite in terms of the visa application. Mode of submission, postal service. This is where it will ask for your first and middle name is indicated on your passport and surname is indicated on your passport. Same thing as your last name. So, and this is also the information that will be on the survey that has been sent out to you. If you check your Zoom, if you check the group chat now, there is a survey for the welcome survey has been sent to you. So there that is. And then of course, mode of communication, mobile number with entry code. So this took me a while to learn. So our entry code as a country is 1. Most of you may know this. I didn't know that. Right, Miss Galladay. So it's 1. For Ghana, it's 233. So whenever you get ready to put in numbers that are outside of the US, specifically being Ghana, it will be the contact number will be 233. So for us, it'll be 1. Whenever you put in a number, make sure you add 1. Then correct email address, the title, what do you prefer? Then of course, surname again, middle name again. This is just another section of the questions where it's asking you the same information. As you can see, it goes to maiden name, other name, gender, marital status, profession. You can put that place of birth, date of birth, all that information you can add, right? Then when we get farther on down, you have purpose of travel. Temporary visitor for tourism. That's what you'll select. Duration, we're 9 days and 8 nights, right? So it'll be 9 days. Date of departure from country of residence. It's going to ask that. And you'll put the 25th. Mode of journey. Do you have a return ticket? Yes. And then it's going to ask for that information. Last date to visit Ghana. Add that if you've been there. If you haven't, you will leave that blank. We go to the second step of the process. You'll go to another tab that'll say step 2. It will ask you all of this information regarding your passport, right? And then travel history and criminal convictions. All of these questions here, if you can see, they will be asked whenever you start the application process, right? And you answer based off of the best you can, Then we get to step 3. Step 3, contact information, mailing address. I didn't put anything here, record all the contact information because it's pretty much the same across almost all applications. Mailing address, same as before, it'll ask that question. Business, work, school, address, and country of residence. We're here in the US. So you'll add that information. If you have a job, you work, your own business, or you're in school, you add that information. Name and physical, just to let you know, there's no discount or anything to any of this. No matter how you answer the questions, payment will still be what it is when you get to the end. Name a physical address reference for a hotel in Ghana. So this is a question. This is the information that will be on step 3 that will be required in order to pass step 3. You cannot pass from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 without answering all of the questions. If you cannot answer any of the questions, you will be permitted from going to the next step. So luckily I had a little information from the last time I went to go ahead and go past the next steps. So this way I can show most of you who are unable to see it. Right. So this is these will be questions that will be asked. Name of reference, building number, name and street, locality, town and city, GPS digital address, phone. It will ask these questions. What is the number of the contact of the place of the first hotel in Ghana? That information we will provide to you and give to you so that way you can complete it for reference 1 and for reference 2. Same information for reference 1 is asking for the same information for both 1 and 2. But the information will be different. So once you if you continue on step 3 and go down, you will see that next it asks for the name and address of employer in Ghana if you work in Ghana. Far as I'm concerned, no one on this call or no one in the trip works in Ghana. So you will not have to worry about that. Therefore, you will go to select this answer. There will be a box that you can click that's right outside of here. Let's see. So in terms of step 4, when you're done with step 3, you go to step 4. Host in Ghana, organization name, other name, last name, address, city. Our host will be the tour company. We will have to provide you with that information. But once again, this information, well, as Madam President was saying, will be provided to you at a later date. We're showing you this so you can have an idea for the most part of what it looks like. Sponsor for the trip. That will definitely, that's information in which we'll provide to you as well. Let's see. And if your application was completed by another person, they will simply put their information there. And then when you get to step 5, you will have another page that prompts how to upload your documents that you need to upload. It will let you know, it says passport photo requirements. Must be a recent color photo taken within the last 6 months of your printed in color. Just like the image I showed you, and just as Madam President was saying, these photos have to be recent, even if your passport photo is not as recent as this, is within the 6 months. So the information there, it will pretty much tell you how to take your photo and how it should be taken. So when you get to this step 5, you will have to upload these file documents right here. I'll zoom in a little closer because I can barely see it. So I know y'all can't see it if I can barely see it. Lord have mercy. All right, so recent passport photo size taken within the last 6 months of application. Passport size photo, sorry. You will upload that image here, right? Passport data page. Whenever they send, your data page, you have your passport, your data page, they want you to have at least several pages blank. So that way, when they stamp you with the visa, it'll go to that data page in the back, like Madam was saying, and you will be able to see the full picture. If I had my passport here, I would show you, but I don't have it. So then that file, you will upload just the blank pages of that file. Take a picture, send it. Then you have the valid identification host. Information we'll provide to you, hotel booking, travel itinerary. Information, once again, we will provide to you. Invitation letter, confirm hotel booking. Once again, information we'll provide to you once all pages have been completed. Applicant signature on the application within the confinements of what they're asking. When you get to step 6, there will be a part where you can add your signature. Fully vaccinated COVID-19 certificate. This is not a requirement, so you do not have to select this for as a COVID-19 certificate. Neither resident permanent, but you see here under there for valid passport, that will be an answer to select, and you have to verify that application form signed by applicant as well, and appropriate fees. So when you get to step 6, you will have all that information to complete. But that was it in terms of what we wanted to show you in terms of the application process and what it looks like.
I got a question. When did we start the application process again?
We will start the application process roughly in the middle of May. Once we have submitted and completed the payments and they have been sent to landlords, they give us the information that is needed for us, what we just shared with the GPS, the address, host name, and things of that nature. Then we can share it with you in order for you to complete your visa application process.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. No problem.
Is there any way you could change your roommate because you didn't have one at first and now you have one for sure?
Who's that talking?
That's
Just send an
Veronica.
email, send an email to us, either put it in the chat or send the email, and we'll see who you assign to. And we'll
Okay,
follow
here
up.
it is in the chat. I'll call you, Melissa.
Thank you.
All right, so we're almost done, everyone. Well, I promise you, we're almost done. We're almost there. So we just got done speaking about the visa application process. Can you all see my screen? Okay.
Mhm.
All right, we're at the meal plan. We discussed that. And of course, this is something we discussed prior before, being able to have a educational tour of Ghana, going to the University of Ghana as well, science and technology. But there are also some other parts that we will visit that pertains to social service agencies. Once again, we will start off in Accra. And then we will go to Cape Coast and Kumasi throughout our stay. So those will be some locations that we will visit while we are there. And these are, of course, information shared before. We will visit villages in both Cape Coast and Kumasi to see their artistry, artwork, and things that they make, and also as part of the cultural tour as well, right? Understanding and learning more about the culture. And then Ghana's market. We've discussed this before, negotiating your transactions, open to trade for items, and also bringing, the recommended luggage as well to give away clothes that you do not want. Uh, of course, and then there's of course Cape Coast, point of no return, one of the slave dungeons we will go to, and then fireside chat with locals. There will be people there to speak with and to engage with, and also they're there to share their their experiences being in Ghana. It's like we're almost there, so we do have also not included in the cost,
You
not
want me to take
include.
this, JoJo?
Oh yeah, you can go ahead if you like.
Okay. So it's not included in the land cost, y'all. The international flights, early check-in, like we talked about, early and late check-in, like we talked about, all airport departure taxes, excess baggage charges, passport and visa fees, all of this. It's all on us. Charges occurred as a result of delays beyond land tour Ghana, such as delayed or canceled flights. The meals that we talked about, meals not specified in the itinerary, and that's mostly the lunches. I don't have to read all of this, but y'all see the meals, the hotels, the transportation, all drinks. It's on y'all. Personal items such as laundry, email, fax, telephone, souvenirs, gratuities for tour and site guides and drivers, and trip cancellation, travel delay, and baggage insurance. All right, so that's not included. And once y'all receive the itinerary, this information is actually at the bottom of it. So it'll be there once y'all receive the itinerary. So bring some money. And I will say, somebody did ask a little earlier, how much we can bring. We can talk about that another time. However, Melissa did talk about it, and I know a lot of us was not on that call, but I'm just gonna say, I think what she said, anywhere between 500 and 1,000, you can take whatever you want. You know what you want to get. Your friends and family are just like, oh, bring me something back. So just be mindful of that, of how much to bring. So bring your money for all of these things that are not included in the land cost.
So let me, Jojo, if you would go back a couple of slides. So we are developing the continuing education process with the Professional Development Committee. And so you will get at least 10 CEUs for your tour. And I apologize, y'all. I went to the Jazz Fest, and I'm trying to recover. So when we go to these experiences, like where you saw on the Atlantic, we will also go to guided tours in different places. When we go to Kumasi, we will get to visit one of the universities, either Kwame Nkrumah or the University of Ghana. So we will get educational experiences. The majority of them will be with neighborhood and lived experience experts. We will meet with the Ghana Association of Social Work, and we do have some of our own professionals who will be doing things. Somebody has offered to do a wellness yoga and exercise in the morning and the sunrise when we're on the coast at the Atlantic. I did have a chance to watch the sunrise, and that would be a beautiful experience. So we have somebody offered their expertise to help guide us through that. We also will have debriefings when you get a chance to go to the slave castle and you get those experiences. You know, it's an opportunity to kind of debrief. But by the same token, we know everybody is not a social worker, so it's not required. It's just an opportunity that is there. We do think that our experiences going to the marketplace, you have to get good at bartering. You get an opportunity to do that. Upon arrival, land tours will change our money for us. So they recommended we go with big bills, 50 to 100. When I got there, you know, when we did the orientation, I gave the man $400 in cash, and he gave me about 5 stacks of bills. I thought I was rich, boy. It was just amazing. But you know, you're gonna have your morning meal and generally your evening meal at the hotel that we're staying in. So there'll be a variety of food and options for you to eat. I'm a pescatarian, so there are diet options. You will get surveys from us asking these questions. Do you have dietary constrictions? Do you have, so we want you to make sure we're not in your spam. And if you see a survey or a reply, it's all in the effort to make sure we have all the I's dotted and T's crossed. The Ghana Association of Social Workers is coordinating the opportunity for us to go to a children's home, an intellectual disability facility, and an opportunity to work with the elderly. So we will kick off a campaign, Ghana 10,000, and we're going to try to raise $10,000 so we can make actual donations in the community. So we would love for y'all to champion that cause. We're going to kick it off on Founders Day through Juneteenth with an effort to raise money for donations in the community. So any additional questions? If you are interested in the $2,500 flight from JFK to Accra, there will be about 40 of us on that flight. If you're interested, we have about 2 seats available at $2,500 rate. So just email us or let us know if you're interested in acquiring those slots. Otherwise, people have done very good going to Delta. We're going from New Orleans to JFK to Accra. We're coming back through Amsterdam. So the Amsterdam trip. So at first I was like, I didn't want to go, but going straight through JFK was 18 hours. Coming back through Amsterdam was 21. So I didn't have the straight back to JFK option, but it is only a couple hours difference. And I get to go to Amsterdam, I guess. I've never been to Amsterdam. So that'll be the first time landing in Amsterdam. So look at the options and make sure you look at the times, because sometimes it may look the same, but you might have a 7-hour layover versus a 3-hour layover. So just look at it very carefully and make your decisions. So do anybody have any questions we haven't addressed?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know, what is the itinerary each day? Like, are we going to be like out from like 9 to 5? Are we going to have time to explore Ghana on our own, or are we going to be like on a tight schedule?
Well, we generally will leave around 9 to 10-ish. We'll be in the same city for about 3 days, right? So if you opt on day 1 or 2, I mean, while we're in Accra, if you opt to do something different as opposed to go on a bus, if you want to catch you know what I'm saying? If you want to catch a van or do whatever, that you just let your team know, that your team guy know that y'all gonna be gone, y'all gonna do something at the end of the day, or we could be at a museum and you may decide you want to stay longer and we're going to another slot. You would just let us know so we know you would make your own arrangements back, because there are options for cabs and Ubers and things of that nature. The thing that I would recommend is that you stay with the group when we go from city to city. So, you know, it's not like we're going to be in New Orleans the whole time. We're going to be in New Orleans for 3 days. We're going to be in Atlanta for 3 days, and we're going to be in DC for 3 days. And then we coming back to New Orleans kind of thing. So I would recommend you stay with the group when we go from city to city, but within city, you have the option to go as you please.
Melissa, this is Terry. I have a question. Will we have a chance to visit a tailor to have some outfits made?
That's a great question. Yes, so upon arrival, a part of the welcome, there will be a seamstress there, several of them, probably about, because of our size, probably about 10 to 12. And there will be books, there will be fabric. So, you know, you can say, I want this shirt, this dress, or you can bring a picture of it and you can pick your fabric. And then when we come back, because we starting at this hotel and ending at that hotel, they will have that item there ready for you to get those items. So it's really nice. You can pick stuff. And also when you're traveling, so we get to take 2 large bags, like, so 2 50-pound bags, you can carry those, right? And what I recommend is that you leave room in one of them bags so you can, like what I did was I had a full bag of stuff that I gave away. I had about 50 t-shirts because a lot of those places like t-shirts. I had sanitary products, stuff I bought myself that I gave away at different places where we stopped, you know, along the way. When I got to, I don't know, Jojo, if you could show the fabric and the wood. When I got to the wood craft and when I got to the fabric, I went crazy. I probably bought 20 yards of this and that. And, you know, most of the outfits I wore at the conference, I bought fabric there while I was here last year. And I got those items made when I came home. So you can do it either way. But when you see this weaving village, when you go in there, it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of patterns like that. And you can get yards, you can get, you know, however you want to, that we're going to go in a shop and it's going to have that. The one on the right where you see the Ashanti stool, I bought that right off the loom. I mean, right when he was making it, he asked me which one you wanted. I said that one. So, I mean, they're literally making it right in front of your eyes. And the same thing with the Wood Village. They have a bunch of different, you know, right next to each other's shops, and you can buy anything from stools to masks to just all kind of wonderful items. So we really get a chance to do a lot of cooperative economics where you can spend money in the community and they greatly appreciate it, and you barter. Because I think that lady, she's sitting on a stool right there. So that's like one of the Ashanti stools made out of wood. So we also gonna look at, we're gonna reach out to Dr. Dozier about the best way to get things shipped back. Because it's only, you know, you're not gonna be able to put too many Ashanti stools in your bag, you know. So we're gonna try to find out what's the best way to do that. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Handling these bags. I don't know about carrying 2 big bags. Once you check in your bags in, how do you get them, you know, when you pick them up at the on the way out, you had to drag them yourself, or you just pay somebody to take it to the carrier transportation to the hotel?
Now, I'm glad, Christy, write that down. I'm glad you said that. I did mine myself, but you know, most of my stuff is mobile and it's you know what I'm saying? I kind of, it's rolling. I'm kind of prepared for that, but I do think that is a very valid question to ask. There are people that are out there, but you know, we're traveling with the group. So, you know, it's not like when you go to New York, you got a bunch of bailmen, you need some help, you need some help. So we're traveling with the group. So I will reach out to them because especially when we're traveling collectively, yes. Now, when we go to hotels, there are bailmen that will get our stuff off and bring it to our rooms and stuff. They have, and of course they, you know, you tip them and they're very appreciative of that. So yeah, when you get to between hotels, but from the airport, we may need some more assistance loading up the car.
Mhm. Okay. And how many is in the total group?
Oh, great question. We have 97 people who will be
Ooh.
traveling with us. I am so surprised. I thought we would be down to 80 by now, but we are 97 strong. And so your room type and everything has been identified. We will be traveling in three vehicles that hold 45 people. Majority of your luggage will be under the vehicle. If you have another bag, it needs to fit in front of you, like, you know, like you do on the airplane, right? And so whoever if you're in a, you probably is recommended that you stay with the roommate. So you'll be assigned a bus, and this will be your bus, and this will be your bus leader, and y'all will look out for everybody on the bus. By the time we get 3 doors down, they're gonna say, "Where Nancy?" Ain't did nobody say Nancy Rose? I ain't see. That's what we want. We want to build community while we're on our trip, and by the time we get back, we'll get a chance, and we'll be able to reconnect.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, how many are going to Senegal?
That I don't know. I really kind of try to segregate myself from that because it's, just trying to manage this, but I'm not sure. Maybe when land tours came back on, they'll let us know. But I know there are at least 6 people. If you know you're going, raise your hand. I know the Davises are going. Anybody else on here going?
What's the cost? What's the additional cost for the excursions?
I'll send it to you. They're about 1,500 or 1,800 a person, but it doesn't include airfare. But I think the airfare from Accra to Senegal is only like $500 or less,
Well,
Okay.
I think it may be a little bit more, but
a little more. Yeah, it's getting tight.
It's going to be from Accra to Ivory Coast and then to Senegal.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah. And so if you're interested in doing any social work while you're there, but we're not going to be doing a lot of lectures. I think the majority is what we're going to be doing is interactive learning and engaging with the community. I do hope we will get a chance to. I had a wonderful opportunity to interact with the students, and they will be in school during that time. So it's our summer, but it's their school time. So I do hope that we get an opportunity to do that. And JoJo has put the land tours up information for Senegal. If you want to write that down and email them, emailing them is the best way to get them. Any other questions?
So Melissa threw it out there about the group. It really is just 2 more slots. I already got one person that hit me up. I almost want to hold one of the spots for Sister Detra, but y'all let me know. It's 2 more spots for the group flight. So you have to get to New York.
I'll do the whole amount.
It was 3, now it's 2. So let me know, Detra.
Christy, can I call you tomorrow?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just email her.
Yeah,
Okay.
Email me, text me.
Thank you.
All right.
I have a question, Melissa. Will we have transportation from the airport to the hotel? Will land tours be there to pick us up?
We will with the group connect, like with the majority of group. If you have an off time, like where you're traveling by